Hi everyone! In today's video I would like to talk a little bit about some mathematical points of view on the construction of one of the sites we visited in this trip, which is the wall of Messene. But first, before that, I'd like to thank everyone who has been following us in this beautiful trip to Greece and all the sites we visited. And also I'd like to thank all those who have given a donation, somehow contributed to our work, this is really useful and helpful for us to keep on doing what we are doing. And I believe most of you really enjoyed it as much as I did. So before starting the discussion, I just like to remind you what we're talking about. So this is a little extract, 1-minute video of some extracts from the video of Messene. Huge piece of stone, still with the same angulation as it had back 200 years. And here the wall goes on. Deborah showed me another huge block there. Just to give you a sense of scale, there's one block here going from here all the way to here. And then if you look at the top, that one block goes from there till here, and the one on top as well, from the border, from the corner till about there. So they're all huge, really huge blocks. And anyway, here the wall goes up. I don't know which side we want to walk on. It's about, I would guess 2 meters thick. It's really big, and those that seem there, small blocks there in balance, they're not that small actually. Okay, there we go. And this is just one of the towers. There's many more. So I managed to get to the window of one of the towers, and you can see it's basically empty. There probably was some wooden flooring here at this level where the door is. But here it's actually nicely flat. It might have been a corridor for, if it was a fortress, for the soldiers to move back and forth. As I was saying, each of these blocks is megalithic. I believe each one of these are over a ton. Okay, we are about at 500 meters from the big Arcadian gate, and you can see there's another piece of wall preserved on this ridge and the small hill. And here we are right on top of the wall, which goes on to another turret over there. Huge slabs of stone. In this case it's really covered with a layer of stones. It may be that originally it was like this. There's a nice little series of polygonal corners here. We're walking along the same wall as before now on the sides. You can notice some nice polygonal joints here. And here there's a stairway going up. So this must have been the inside of the turret, of the wall of the city. Now, since I've been asked this quite a few times, I will quickly go through the whole trip we did on Google Maps. So we started from Athens, but actually we didn't stop in Athens in the beginning. We went straight to the area of Argos, and here you see all the sites we visited. We went to Heraion, to Messene, to Medea, Adrianos, Tiryns, Hellinikon, the pyramid, Azine, Kazarma, Epidaurus, as well as 2 sites on this peninsula of Methana. And after that we moved west and went to visit Messene. Then we did a few days of beach because we were there in September. The temperature is still over 30 degrees, so we had some fun as well. And then we moved north. We passed through New Pleuron and Oiniades. We moved further north. Here it started to get a little bit colder. We had a few days of rain and let's say 20 degrees or something. We visited Cassiope, Necromantion. Then we went to Dodona. We moved then on to Meteora, which is the last video of this series because it's not really on archaeological things. And then we started to get back south across the Acropolis of Proerna, then Lilaia, Delphi. We stopped for a few days here at the sea, and from here we did a few daily trips to Orchomenos, the treasury of Minias, which is just in the center of Orchomenos, which is still a city today, the Panopeus, And then on the way back to Athens, we passed from Eleutherai, which is here in the mountains, and then the final video on Pnyx, right underneath the Acropolis. Well, from here you can see it. Actually, the wall is here. No, wait a second. The wall of Pnyx, well, I cannot see it now because you don't really see it well from... Ah, here it is. Here is the wall. You can see it's semicircle. Here's the carved out part. There's a few steps like this. And the Acropolis is right over here. So, very close. Anyway, getting back to the main topic of this video. So, I want to analyze what is being said on the time needed to complete the wall of Messene. We're going to base ourselves first on Wikipedia. This is another discussion, but I will quickly talk about it. Can we trust or can we not trust Wikipedia? Well, from my experience, some information is certainly valid. If they tell you the distance between, I don't know, Los Angeles and New York is 1,000 kilometers, it's probably true. But also, I believe that Wikipedia is somehow biased because I know, for example, some scientists, which I've studied deeply, I've read all their books. One example is Wilhelm Reich. And what you have in Wikipedia is the first few lines, and they say that his work has not been recognized by the scientific community, and that's fair. I can still accept that. But then you should rather spend the rest of the article talking about what he said. Whether the scientific community recognizes it or not, it doesn't really matter. What we want to know when we go to on a Wikipedia page to see about somebody's work, we want to know what he did, and that's not the case always. Also, I've heard from different people who have been tagged with some pseudo something name, and those things cannot be changed. I mean, other people who try to go, and you're supposed to be able to go and correct everything on Wikipedia, they tried to, and they were just thrown out. So I believe it's biased. But anyway, let's base ourselves on what Wikipedia says about the Messene wall. So we can open here, Messene, and here it's being said that the Messene wall was built in 85 days. And I looked for the source of this information, and I found another website, which I'm not sure it can be trusted, but anyway, they say that the source is Diodorus Siculus. So anyway, 85 days to build a wall. Wikipedia also gives us the size of this wall, which is 9 kilometers by 7 to 9 meters high. And I can add, having been there, that it's been between 2 and 2.5 meters wide, thick. So let's just say we take this information from Wikipedia. And I want to see what the weight of the wall is. So we have 9,000 meters by 7 meters. I take the shortest value they give by 2 meters, which is again the shortest value I saw on the field, which could be up to 2.5 meters. But just for the sake of being not tagged with exaggerating, let's say it's 2 meters. That would make 126,000 cubic meters of stone. Now, this is limestone, so what is the weight of limestone? We go here, weight of limestone. Sorry, that's not the right one. Average density here, it's 2.7 grams by cubic centimeters, which is 2.7 tons by cubic meter. So, just to be on the safe side, I took 2.5 tons per cubic meter. That would make a total weight of 315,000 tons of stone. And I'm not including the towers, which are over 30 if I remember correctly. And anyway, I'm not including them. Just the wall, 9 kilometers of wall with this sizes here, would be 315,000 tons of stone. Now, again, just to be on the safe side, I will just consider 2/3 of this value. So we have 315,000 by 2/3, that it would be 210,000 tons of stone. So that means that if the wall was built in 85 days, as is stated in Wikipedia, official information, and again on this side. Okay, it's based on Diodorus Siculus, it's an old source, but anyway, that's what is still officially considered today the time needed to build this wall. If we consider this data, that would mean that they would have had to carve 2.4 thousand tons a day. I repeat, 2.4 thousand tons a day. Now, well, of course, like everyone, that doesn't give me a lot of information, so let's just make a comparison. The first comparison I'd like to make is the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is 5.7 million tons, so much bigger. It's a volume much bigger than, and a weight much bigger than the walls of Messene. And it took 26 years to build. Okay, also this information. I don't want to be tagged that I say something not true. That's the official information. Weight of the Great Pyramid of Giza weighs about 5.7 million tons. And the time to build it is 26 years. I've opened, I can refresh these pages if you want, just to show that it's not something I've copied from somewhere. It's really live in this moment when I'm filming this video. So we have, again, 5.7 million tons in 26 years. That would give us a daily amount of tons which had to be carved, to be quarried, of 600 tons per day. That is about a fourth of what was done in Messene, always according to official information. Now let's take another comparison, which is this Palace of Parliament. I just searched for the biggest stone building in the world today. And this is supposed to be the Palace of the Parliament of Romania, which I found here. Again, this is a live page. Let me refresh the page. You can see it's still there. So the Palace of the Parliament is the heaviest building in the world, weighing about 4 million tons. Okay, and just a little further, it says it was constructed over a period of 13 years. So let's suppose this 4 million tons was just stone, which is probably not the case because there's plumbing, there's a lot of stuff inside, so it's probably less stone. But let's say that's just the weight of the stone, as if it was like a pyramid just made of stone. So we have 4.1 million tons in 13 years. That would make a daily quarrying of 864 tons a day. So that's again a third of what the Messene wall was needed to be carved, to be quarried each day to build a wall. So I'm not giving a judgment, I'm just giving you some comparisons to say, is this figure of 85 days plausible? Personally, I don't believe so. But anyway, let's go on. By the way, this 2.4 thousand tons a day is not just the carving, it means every day 2.4 thousand tons were quarried, transported, made in the right size and shape, and placed on the wall, because the wall was built all together in 85 days. So let's go to the quarrying. Let's make a comparison of the quarrying. So we want to know how many tons a year, because why I look for this figure, because this is what you get as an information when you look what's the average quarrying that modern quarries do. So in Messene we have 210,000 tons in 85 days. That makes 210,000 tons by 365 divided by 85, which is 900 tons a year. 900,000 tons a year. Now I just found information from 2 quarries. You can probably find more. There's the famous quarry of white marble in Carrara, Italy, which in 1983, that's the most recent figure I could find, was quarrying 900 tons a year. So exactly the same amount that the builders of the wall of Messene should have done. And here you can find information. Unfortunately, it's just in Italian, but you can see here the data in 1983, over 900,000 tons. So that's the amount that we have, exactly the same amount we had in Messene, supposedly. Then I found another one, which is the Duff Quarry in Huntsville, Ohio, which is also a limestone quarry. And in this article here, Limestone Quarry increases yearly production capacity up to 1.5 million tons with new automated plant designed by innovative processing solutions using Stedman size reduction impact crushers. Okay, so this is just some kind of advertisement for this company Stedman, which says that this quarry, thanks to their incredible machinery from this Stedman company, were able to increase their yearly production to 1.5 million tons a year. So let's go back to our data. Of course, it's more than Messene, but of course there's a use of machinery, which they supposedly didn't have in 300-400 BC, when the wall in Messene was supposedly being built. So again, we have an information which is quite astonishing in my opinion, because if this figure of 85 days is correct, that would mean that they needed to quarry an amount of stone each year at a speed which is the same as today. Basically, it's the same as today. Okay, let's go to the next step, which is the shaping of the stone. I'm not going to go much into this. I just want to draw your attention to this one video, which I'm not going to play, otherwise I may be tagged. But anyway, this is the work of a Japanese. This video, it just shows the way he builds this wall. And this is polygonal wall. As you can see, the stones are very small. And the point being that you can see he keeps on taking stones, measuring the angle, then he takes them down, he carves them a little bit, puts them on again, checks the angles again, takes them down again, does this procedure 3 to 4 times for each individual block. Okay, in Messene we don't have much of a polygonal walls, but anyway, many other videos we do, in many other places. So just some thoughts about shaping a polygonal stone and making a polygonal wall. It seems not to be such an easy task as many claim, because one thing is to do it, to take it up and down until it's got the right shape in a small wall like this one. Another thing is doing the same thing in a huge wall like this. And anyway, after that we also have the positioning of the stones, because we don't have highways in Messene, we don't have them today, and they were not there back then. So we have irregular terrain. The stones had to be moved. Here again, I go online and search what is the heaviest truck. Okay, a dump truck, but a dump truck usually carries broken down stone. But anyway, they say it can carry about 14 tons. And I searched how many of 40-ton buck can carry, and that's 40 tons. So I have had the experience of seeing big trucks carrying 1 block of stone, and I wondered why it's just one. And then I found out this is the website of a local quarry of granite, and they say that the maximum size they do is 27 tons. So that means that a truck which can carry 40 tons cannot carry more than 1 block at a time, because 2 blocks would be 54 tons, and that's too much. So they can carry with 1 truck 1 block of stone, the biggest trucks we have today, at least on roads. So the people who built the wall in Messene had to deal with the regular terrain, they had to move the stones. I did a quick calculation. By using the figure I calculated before of 240 tons a day that had to be placed on the wall each day, by using a 40-ton truck, that would make 61 trucks a day. So that means that 2 trucks, actually more than 2 trucks, almost 2.5 trucks each hour had to be loaded with the stones, and had to go to the place of the wall they were building and unload the stones there. And then, of course, some other workers should have placed them. Okay, I think that's about it. Again, we go through the figures one more time. So the wall should weigh about 210,000 tons. That would make daily quarrying, carving and positioning of stones of 2.4 thousand tons a day, which is 4 times what the Great Pyramid of Giza was, and 3 times what the time needed to build the Palace of Parliament in Romania was. Then the quarrying of the stone, if they built this wall in 85 days, would be the same amount of tons of stones quarried per year as a modern quarry does. And then we have the positioning of the stones, which took a lot of time. So I'll let you judge if this is feasible, considering the figure of 85 days and considering that these people didn't have any machine back then. In my opinion, that's not feasible. But actually I wrote also to the Swiss Association of Dry Walls, because they still do dry walls here, of course, with very small bricks, very small pieces of stone, but they do. And I asked him, do you think it was possible to do this wall in 85 days? And he replied to me that even if it was a zero missing, so 850 days, he would doubt that they could do something like that with no machinery back 2,500 years in such a short amount of time. And so, to end up this discussion, the point goes back to this. Okay, Wikipedia and official information. Can we trust it? Well, I believe that they should not lie about the length of the wall, the height of the wall. There shouldn't be an issue about that, because that can be checked, that can be controlled. We still can imagine and see most of the wall today. But then when it gets to other information, of course, this is information coming from over 2,000 years or around 2,000 years. I'm not sure when Diodorus Siculus lived, but anyway, it's more than, let's say, 1,500 years old. And it's been written here as if it was truth. Can we trust it? I believe we should doubt it. We have to, let's say, discriminate what we can trust and what we cannot trust from the official information. And because they may be wrong, and my math here shows that most likely they're going to be wrong. Okay, I think that's about it. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye.